Let's do it, guys. So we have game 2 here. MMA versus DongRaeGu. Already an amazing start to this series with the most drawn-out, long, and intense Terran versus Zerg I have seen in quite some time. First, we had DongRaeGu ahead, playing an excellent game, starting with the Roachling, quote-unquote, all-in. I hesitate to call all-in because it really isn't. Drone behind it, did a lot of damage. Game was fairly even. MMA pushing out, DongRaeGu holding off attack after attack, DongRaeGu coming out way ahead. Then MMA slowly creeping back over time, able to tie it up. And then MMA losing to the Roach, or to the Ultra, Baneling, Infestor army. Yep, certainly. And at the end of the day, DongRaeGu took the win.
Yeah, but I think, you know, we were talking about before, I think the game could have been significantly shorter had he transitioned to Broodlords after that. I don't even think he would have given MMA the opportunity to make his way back into it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know a lot of Zerg players love the Broodlords over Ultras. But I'm actually a fan of using Ultras over Broodlords against Terran, not against Protoss, but against Terran.
Oh, I've seen so many games lately of Ultra Infestor, and it's disgusting. Yeah. Pin units down, and then Ultras come in and just splash damage.
Yeah, the problem with Ultras, I know a lot of people are saying Ultras aren't that good, but the reason why they're not so great is because Marines and Marauders kind of rip Ultras apart, as long as you micro them. But the answer to that is Banelings and Infestors. And I hope we see more Zerg players start to use that Ultra Baneling Infestor composition a little bit more. DongRaeGu using it perfectly that game. I don't like the Broodlord Infestor style so much because Ghosts kind of destroy that.
Oh yeah, no, certainly.
And your push with Broodlord Infestor is so slow, man. You don't have that quick killer instinct. You like slowly move across the map.
But my God, it makes a wall of death in front of it. I mean, especially if you have a couple of queens behind it, throw down transfusions and stuff like that. Oh my God, that's so good. I love people that can pull that off really well.
It's hard.
We actually have a 15 command center coming out of MMA. So this is Crevasse. It's very easy to do that. Your initial ramp is there's destructible debris on the ramp, but it is a very, very small ramp to the side of that if you don't knock down those destructible debris. So it's really easy, especially with the walk distances, to take quick expansion.
It's kind of like Flash's old, 14cc style. I mean, it works very well on Crevasse, as you said before, because the expansion's tucked right into the main. I would love to see if that's the high yield gas version of the map or not.
Let's see. Rich Vestment Geyser, yes.
All right, so we have a high yield gas here for MMA. That's certainly going to prove helpful if he opts to go into that fast Hellion style. You can get that high yield gas, saves 3 SCVs rather than getting the 2 gas inside the main.
Yep.
As far as DongRaeGu goes, he did expand right away as well. So he's got that 15 hash going for him, and I would imagine more so than Metalopolis, we're gonna have a macro game.
MMA's sense of timing is so good.
Did he see the Overlord?
Yeah, he ran down here. I think he caught a glimpse of it, and it looks like DongRaeGu saw the SCV and immediately reacted and put this above the little cliff line right there. But that was actually an impeccable sense of timing, so MMA scouts the Overlord, knows right where his opponent is at. DongRaeGu, though, he did put gas before pool, so we are going to see a quick speedling built, and indeed, speed is on the way.
Yeah, speed is on the way right now. Just an essential upgrade, really, to get for Zerg against Terran, especially in the early game. And transitions nicely into Banelings, but I want to see if DongRaeGu is going to go for that aggressive, high-octane playstyle, which I'm a big fan of, or if he's going to switch it up now, knowing that MMA has already experienced that Roachling, quote-unquote, all-in. I would like to see DongRaeGu maybe just play a macro game from here on out. Grab the third immediately, especially after scouting the command center first from MMA, and try to play a macro game and win the same in the long run.
Yeah, certainly. And every time I hear you say high octane, I expect you to be like a pitch man for some sort of an energy drink company. Be like, high octane, extreme Zerg play. But anyway, Overlord does go down inside the base, was sacked. What actually did it see? DongRaeGu's vision revealed one factory, but not the subsequent 2 barracks that were put down after that.
Yeah, DongRaeGu's really playing in the dark right now. Doesn't have any clue that MMA did get that command center right away, so that is going to be a little bit hurtful for him. But I still want to see if DongRaeGu is going to go for that Roachling. No, he's not. He's getting a lair right now, so it looks like he's going to try to tech up right away. But interestingly enough, not grabbing the 3rd hatch yet, because he has no idea what MMA is doing. He's got to get the lair. He's got to play a 2-base style for now until he can confirm exactly what MMA is up to.
Yeah, it looks like MMA is actually going to make a really powerful push. We even have a starport coming down, so he may decide to move into some Banshees after this. The tech lab is being constructed on the factory. Let's see if he goes right into Marine Medevac tank, or if this actually does end up getting the switch here in a bit. But DongRaeGu, on the other hand, he is droning up like mad, so 2-base aggression is indeed going to be the order of the day, and it is Spire. I don't know where it's at. There it is. Okay, so Spire coming up, and he is just going to try to mass mutas off of 2 bases.
Yeah, this kind of sucks for DongRaeGu. Based on the spawn points, it's very difficult to get the Overlord over to the hidden, tucked-in expansion, right? I mean, if MMA had spawned over to the top right, that Overlord would have seen the command center first right away. So really, it kind of sucks for DongRaeGu because the way the map has spawned for both players, and really DongRaeGu can't safely grab the third this early. He just doesn't know what MMA is doing. He doesn't know MMA went for that 15 command center, and as a result, I think he's trailing a little bit behind, as opposed to if he had just grabbed the third hatchery right away and played a super macro style. But he is getting the Mutalisk up. He's playing a 2-base style versus an expected 1-base Terran, and we'll just have to see what happens.
And we do indeed have Marine Medevac tank coming out, and so he's not going to try and switch the tech quite yet. May end up doing it after this next unit is constructed when he puts up another tank in the end, but he is just going to use this for a nice drop. That Spire's about to finish, but unfortunately not going to finish in time for Mutalisk to come out and intercept this Medevac, and that's going to have to be done with the Zerglings. I'm sure MMA is just going to turn around, and indeed he is.
DongRaeGu is so good, man. Yep. I mean, realizing that, hey, I'm operating in the dark, what are one of the possibilities that Terran can do right now? A dropship. And he moved all his Overlords into the dead space area between his natural and his opponent's main. He sees the dropship coming. He had the Lings there ready and waiting. Very smart play in general. And now he is going to go ahead and grab the third. Safe timing for the third. Albei, he is behind because the command center went down at 15 supply for MMA.
Yeah, and there is a Viking up that's picking up a large number of Overlords. Looks like some mutas are going to swing in and take that out in a bit, I would assume. No, actually, they're going to intercept a drop here at the third base, and unfortunately, his Medevac is going to go down. All those mutas have to get dropped, and they end up dying.
It always is a little bit disheartening when the Terran player starts to unload Marines one by one, realizing at the end of the day, those Marines are dead. The dropship is dead. Doesn't matter. But he unloads his Marines anyways, so they can get killed off by the Zerglings rather than just dying in flight, you know?
If they take down one Zergling with them, then it was 25 minerals more.
But they never do. It's like they never can kill that any unit anyway, so it's like a waste of APM almost at some point.
And Mutalisks are going to take out the supply depot at the front. That's actually kind of cute, like that. It's going to offer a little bit more mobility if he decides to swing it with some Lings as well. He has a few around the back, but are they going to make their way in? They are.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think that is... Well, maybe. My God, he actually ended up doing a lot more damage right away than I would have expected. I think he's going to have to back away now. Don't know if that was terribly cost-effective for him at first. I don't think he lost a Mutalisk, but still, that was a lot of Zerglings.
That was a lot of Zerglings. I think that was worth it. I mean, just putting the Terran player MMA a little bit behind in terms of game sense, because he's going to have to play very defensively. Constant fear from DongRaeGu playing that high-octane playstyle. And
extreme.
Sucks a little bit that MMA didn't wall off that front door. That's going to prove to be a bit of a nightmare for him. Going to make it harder for him to push out. Because he's just going to have to worry about that Ling run by if that is the case. And here comes the Mutalisk once again, hitting that supply depot, doing a little bit of damage. DongRaeGu playing a very, very smart Zerg versus Terran style. And this is the play style that I love to see most from DongRaeGu, ZVT.
And MMA's not biting on any stims or overeager stims or anything like that, so he's certainly doing a fine job. He has a third command center up, but he's just using it for mules for this time because he can't really move out with these Mutalisks on the field. Mules are going to run into 4 turrets, though. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and go after them because only 2 are attacking at any one given point in time. I believe 1 Muta went down there. At the same time, though, DongRaeGu actually expanding to his 4th base here in the top right-hand corner. So his economy is actually going to be pretty smashing here in a bit.
Yes, DongRaeGu is playing really well right now. Those Mutalisks have kept MMA inside 2 base. They've actually kept that army from getting massive because he's running in there, you know, sacrificing his units to kill off a small army in exchange. It works out really well for him. And look at that Mutalisk flock. It is huge. The baneling nest very late at 12 minutes in this game. Lair was already done for a long time. Mutas have been out forever, showing that DongRaeGu isn't scared of the push from MMA. Finally now getting banelings, realizing, hey, eventually that push is going to become a bit of an issue and he's going to need banelings, but for the longest time he did not have a baneling nest, and that's really impressive from DongRaeGu.
Yeah, certainly. And just keeping this third pin inside for so long has paid dividends now, especially with his 4th base finishing now for MVP. DongRaeGu. So, okay, anyway, we have MMA dropping. Okay, that's what you're pointing at. Gotcha. Dropship coming around here to the top right-hand corner. At the same time, it looks like DongRaeGu is going to make his way in and take out these destructible rocks. Give him another pathway to go ahead and flank this army. Those Mutas making their way out. They gotta watch out. That Thor almost got off that shot on those clumped Mutas.
Boom, boom. Would have been bad.
Boom, boom.
But it looks like those the rocks are going to go down there. That's pretty huge.
Yep.
Like you said, DongRaeGu is going to open up another avenue to flank that Terran camp at the third.
Certainly.
But there is pathogen glands on the way now, and DongRaeGu playing that same playstyle we saw in the last game, except minus the Roachling attack. He's playing that Mutaling, Baneling, Infestor, and I would hope he's going to go into Ultras once again.
I imagine he is going to, especially, it looks like he's going to establish those Infestors a little bit earlier. I think he just used the Infestation Pit to go up to high so he can get Ultras out earlier, and then went into Infestors after that last game. This game looks like he's going to build those into his unit composition a little bit earlier. So, Muta Pack making their way down the bottom left-hand corner, immediately turned away by those 3 turrets that were in position, and with the Thor plus 2 turrets plus SCVs to repair, I think MMA is going to remain secure on these bases. But here come the banelings! The tanks are already having a very, very good split, though, and a lot of Zerglings went down for free.
Yeah, this is the problem, actually, with DongRaeGu playing that greedy style, not getting the Baneling Nest earlier. He doesn't have Baneling speed. Now realizing, oh crap, I don't have Baneling speed.
Right.
Actually, that was a blunder by DongRaeGu not getting the Baneling speed earlier, and this could be a problem. He has nothing to hit those fragile Marines. No Baneling speed, no Infestors. This is going to give MMA a timing here to push in and take out all the creep tumors in the middle of the map and advance his position over the Zerg natural.
Yeah, and it looks like those Mutas tried to jump down one more time, but they are going to be repelled by the pretty large number of Marines that are sitting around. There's only one medevac out, though, so every time MMA stims that critical, almost permanent hit point damage, although that is a lot of Mutalisks, and it looks like DongRaeGu is eventually going to have to push into this position because MMA has done a great job of denying creep spread.
Yeah, MMA needs to, DongRaeGu needs to get that Baneling speed and the Infestors out immediately, otherwise he's going to not have any infantry, any mechanism to deal with infantry whatsoever. But hey, Baneling speed is about to finish, Infestors have popped out. Here comes that push from MMA. MMA realizing, hey, I've got an opportunity to push here, has destroyed a lot of the creep tumors in the middle already, and is going to take the high ground position. No, he's backing up, his tanks are all in siege, and look at DongRaeGu on the left side, planning, just waiting to pounce on that Terran army, finding out the best time possible. Now all the tanks have sieged up, though, and DongRaeGu is getting the ultralisk cavern out. Very tense moment in this game, man.
Yeah, certainly. Because if MMA gets a good engagement here, not only does he turn the tides in his favor, but it's going to be very difficult for DongRaeGu to come back and still be able to walk in and deny a bunch of bases. Yes, Baneling speed did finish. The ultralisk cavern is on the way, and it looks like he is setting up for a flanking attack here behind a couple of Infestors to drop down some fungal growths.
All the units are on siege! MMA in a lot of trouble, and the fungals go down over the entire army, and here comes the Mutalisk, here comes the Mutalisk. They're just going to destroy everything. MMA is going to fall apart. There are some Marines in the back, but look at the Muta clump, so large. Oh my goodness. MMA killing off the entire mech backbone once again. And, excuse me, DongRaeGu killing off the entire mech backbone.
Yep.
DongRaeGu is looking really good right here, and he's got Ultra Cavern ready to go.
Wow, that was actually the absolute anti-timing from MMA. That is the very thing he didn't want to see. Looks like there's a drop coming down here at the bottom right-hand corner. He's going to try and pick off this Spire, but there's an Infestor sitting back here, a second Infestor. No, actually doesn't have enough for another Fungal Growth, so the Zergling should be enough to deal with that. At the same time, MMA pushing his way back onto creep. He's doing a very, very good job of denying creep spread, I have to say, but DongRaeGu has been producing off of these 4 bases the entire time, going up to a 5th. That is going to be extremely difficult for MMA to try and break.
And DongRaeGu right now is creating 5 Ultralisks on his production tab. He's going to have a ton of Ultras coming out in the next couple of seconds. Ultras is going to rip through this army without Marauder support, without Thor support. It may even be the end for MMA right here. Look at those Banelings chasing those Marines down. Are they going to hit their mark? All his Marines running away and spreading. And MMA doing a very good job running away and spreading. However, his entire mech backbone once again left bare, left exposed, and the Mutalisks picked them apart like vultures.
Yeah, that, and he's going to have nothing to go ahead and help against these Infestors as well. So MMA actually in a pretty precarious situation. He is only down by 7 workers, so his economy is actually a little bit better once you include mules. Looks like he's going to move up to the 12 o'clock and try and deny this hatchery for a little while. The first drone just pops out, but at the same time, Ultras are making their way in, trying to take out this established position that MMA had in the middle of the map, but MMA's forces are split. He has nothing to defend against these huge number of Ultras.
I don't think he can win. I mean, last game we saw a very close game as well. I thought DongRaeGu had it in the bag, and then it almost looked like MMA was coming back, but I think this time around, MMA is out for the count. He just cannot hold off against this many ultras, although he's got a very good position on the top of that ramp. Those ultras need to back out, and they are going to back out. MMA holding, but losing an expansion. However, eye for an eye killed off an expansion of the Zerg as well. I just don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I do know though.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, there's the line you make when you're a caster between trying to make it exciting and trying to say, well, the game's clearly over. DongRaeGu is actually in a very dominant position right now. He's got incredible tier 3 tech units out. He's denied bases from MMA. MMA doesn't really have much of a standing army. Banelings just roll in and kill all the support. The mutas are going to be able to make their way in behind, and that is going to spell doom. For
just a second there, MMA held that ramp and looked like he had a glimmer of hope in the distance. But then all those ultras and mutas arrived again for round 2 and knocked him out. And that's it. That's got to be it now. His production facilities are going down. Is he going to do the great Terran migration once again? He is dropping into the Zerg main and natural. Kills off the Spire, not bad at all. MMA using that Marine Med back abuse once again, actually attacking the Zerg at the same time. But at the end of the day,
no, all of his production structures are camped. I think he's got, well, let's see, there's one barracks. Yep, that's it. He literally can't produce a unit.
DongRaeGu.
GG, and DongRaeGu has advanced to the round of 32 here at the IPL Season 3 Qualifiers.